and welcome to Heidi's Homemade. I'm Heidi, hello, and this is my videos all about cross-stitch stuff. If you have watched my videos before, thank you and welcome back. If you haven't, this one is going to be kind of a shorter video than normal. I don't actually have a lot to show. I have a bunch of whips that new starts, not so much whips, that I've started for May, and I have a FFO. I have like no haul, which is weird for me. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I have some new starts to share with you for May, and yeah, so not a lot is going on, like, life-wise. I'm currently on a kind of forced break from school, waiting for some stuff to go through to be able to start my student teaching as soon as school starts up here again, which is like July, because it's like an all year, like, kind of school. So until all that paperwork stuff is done, I don't have any classes to take until that starts going. So I'm kind of on a little forced break from school. I've been doing new starts. I've been trying to do new starts every day for May, and I do plan on, and then I am still on track for doing 31 new starts in May. And then June, June I think will be working on finishing some of the smaller ones, because some of them, if I just worked on them for another day or two, I'd probably have them done. So I'm going to try to make June like a finishing month, both finishing the stitching and fully finishing some stuff. We will see how that works out. I'm not the most confident in fully finishing. Like, I'm fine for, like, the frame stuff, like, to do like this, the frame stuff like that, but I don't like to have a lot of frame stuff, and I really want to branch out to things that are not frames. But yeah, that's pretty much what I've got going on. Not a lot. Tomorrow is Saturday. Today is May 19th, Friday, 2023. And tomorrow is Saturday. Tomorrow I'm actually going to go check out a stitch group in Arizona that meets like once a month for like a whole day of stitching. It's also my Saturday that I host my stitching meetup at the local library. So I can't do both at the same time, obviously. So I don't know how I'm going to work that out. I might go to the one in the morning and then head over to mine in the afternoon. It just depends what happens. So I will have to decide what I want to take with me for that. So yeah, I don't know. So yeah, let's go ahead and get right into my new starts for May. I showed you guys in the last video the first 6 days of May starts. So now this is going to be the next basically 2 weeks of new starts for May. So yeah, I mean, there's been 19 days in May. I haven't started my new start for today yet, and it's 4:30 as I'm recording this, so it's probably not going to get a lot of stitches whatever I decide to start. So let me go ahead and grab one, and we'll start talking about that. So, oh, you know what? Let me do my fully finish, which will lead us into our next stuff. So, my fully finished item, if you follow me on Instagram, you've seen it. And I'm actually very, very happy with the way it turned out. It was very, let's just say the tutorial that I was following, I was not impressed with, and I figured it out on my own once I stopped watching the tutorial. We'll put it that way. So I made a bag, and this is my finish of Garden of Zig. It's not quite, it doesn't look like it's quite coming across true to color. The background is a really light purple, like a lavender color. I stitched this on 18 count, and it's using the called for cottage garden threads. I bought the pattern and the threads as a kit at the attic one of the times that I went. So I knew as soon as I was like almost done doing this one that I wanted to finish it as a project bag. I thought that the size of the pattern really lent itself to it, and I think it really did. I like how it came out as far as like it's not right to the bottom. There's like a inch of space between the stitching and the actual bottom of the bag. And then I have lace. The lace I got at from Temu, and I got like a whole pack of different lace trimmings. And this is kind of like an off-white, like antique kind of color, and I think that it went really well with the fabric. And the purple zipper. And then the inside is also this green fabric that is on the outside. And then the back is these. I didn't want anything to really compete with the stitched pattern on the front, so I made sure that whatever I used for the back fabric was not showing on the front, so that it didn't really compete, because I wanted the like focal point to be the actual stitching. So I think it turned out really well. I really like it. I do have 2 projects in this actually because they go together. So yeah, we'll just go right into new starts because there's 2 new starts in this one, and because you know when you have a new project bag, you want to use it. So this is my first full project bag that does not have vinyl on it. I will be making more of these, obviously not without the stitching. I will be making more of these to put in my shop at some point. I do have several vinyl front bags still in my shop, and I will be adding more as soon as I get around to making some more. So yeah, if you want to check that out, it's Heidi's Homemade Quilts and More on Etsy. So yeah, let me open that back up and show you my new starts. And I'm not really showing these in any particular order. I do have a list because I make a spreadsheet of all of my products that I'm working on, getting ready to work on. It's also a list of all the patterns that I have. I also have a list of all of the fancy flosses that I have. I need to add a few more because that's like the only haul that I have is I have a little bit of floss that I got from one of the floss clubs. But yeah, so I have all that on a spreadsheet. So I know when I started something, when I finished it, all that stuff. What size I did it on. If there's any particular fabric that I use other than like white Aida or something like that. So yeah, so the first thing I started Honey of a Tiny Town. by Heart and Hand. This is the first tiny town that I have started stitching on. So far, it's going pretty well, I think. I am planning, and I did measure, and I think it's going to work. I am planning on putting it on this guide that I showed you guys last time. I think it's going to work. I'm doing it on 18 counts. So hopefully it will be good. So this is what I've gotten so far. And so this is like the very edge right here. So I have some space here. So it's going to come to like, I don't know, here. And that's as tall as it goes, is right there, like that. So I think I will be able to finish it on the scissor keeper thingy. So yeah, so this is what it looks like, and this is where I am. I'm using the call for colors. It's all the DMC call for colors. And I want to say that I stitched on this probably 3 hours, I think. It wasn't a long time, but it was more than some of my new starts have gotten. Because it was actually kind of fun. And I put in one strand of white, one strand mostly of green until I couldn't stitch anymore because I didn't have anything else this way. One strand of the blue. I started on the black, and that's where I left off. I still have some more black that to do. But yeah, so that's what I've done. And by one strand, I mean like I cut like a length, and then I took like one piece out, and worked the whole thing until it was done. That's usually what I do for a new start. Is I give it at least one strand to consider it a new start. So then my next one, and these are in the same bag because they go together and they use the same colors. So the Honey of a Frill is another one that I started. So if you're interested, I started Honey of a Tiny Town on the 14th, and I started Honey of a Frill on the 17th. And this is what I've gotten so far. And the fabric is the same fabric that the two are on the same fabric. This is a piece of 18 count, and it's actually from a set of fabrics that I got on Amazon. So they're not like a brand name. They're just like, and it's a stiffer Ada, which I actually like stiffer while I'm stitching it because I stitch in hand. So I don't have to worry about the tension being weird. But that's what I've gotten so far. So I have the beehive thingy, the top of the sunflower here, the start of the bees, and then it goes into her dress right there. So, and I thought the color looked really similar to the color that's called for. So that is what I have for that. Let's see, put that down. Put that back in there. So that's what I have in my ink circles bag. I should probably put ink circles in my ink circles bag. One more time. I'm very proud of it. But I had already started a couple ink circles, and they're already in their own bags. So let's see. Next up, and like I said, I'm not really grabbing these in any particular order. They're just kind of the way I have them sitting on the floor here. So the next thing is I started the Little House Needleworks Bumblebee Petites. this one. And I've started this one here and this one here. So the top two are the ones that I've started so far. Because usually when I'm doing small ones like this, I'll do all the color for, like, I'll cut, a strand of floss, and then I'll do all the color on one of that one, all the color on the next one until I run out of floss, before I have to cut a new length of floss. So far, this is what I have. And this was, I want to say, maybe 2 hours. Maybe 2 hours of work on these to get me to this point. And I'm really liking the way that they are looking on this gray. And this is just scrap gray, same thing. This came from a color kit from Amazon of different Ada glosses. Glosses? Different Ada cloths. And so, different colors. This one is from a different set. This one is a slightly more flexible than the previous one. It's got a lot more give than what the other one did. But it's still stiff enough that I can stitch it in hand very comfortably, which I like. I appreciate that. But I'm really liking these. And these are definitely going to be ones that I'm going to pick up sooner rather than later and finish those. So that is my new start on those. And I actually am thinking about doing them twice. Because I also have a darker gray that I think I showed you guys last time. I have a darker gray, and I think it's going to look good on this one too, but I'm not sure. But it's the same size piece as what the other one is, and I'm going to easily be able to fit all 4 of them on what I have for this gray. So, yeah. And it's all DMC, so I have plenty of floss. So if I want to do it twice, I can do it twice. And I have a smalls exchange that I need to finish, so I don't know. I've started a lot of B smalls, so I think what I'm going to end up doing is just choosing one of those and finishing it. That way, if the person watches my floss tube, they won't know which one they're getting. They might be like, oh, I like that one. But they won't know which one they're getting until I actually finish it and send it. But I need to get on that because I have to have that sent out by the end of the month. But like I said, I've started several bee-themed things, so I don't know. We will see. Let's see. This one has a couple new starts in it. Because they share some of the same colors, so I kept them together. Plus, when you see them, you'll understand why they're in the same bag. So, the first one is going to be Honey Fair by October House. I am finally starting this one. I know everyone was doing the stitch along with this, but it took me a while to get the pattern. I ordered it, but it was like on back order or something, and I didn't get it. So I'm using the called for DMC. This is one strand of the green floss that is called for. That's how far I got. So far, I mean, it's so far it's an easy stitch, and I literally gave this, I think it was less than an hour because it was literally one strand of floss. So I'm thinking maybe 45 minutes. It wasn't long. I think it took me longer to cut the pieces of Ada than it did for me to actually stitch. So that is my start on Strawberry Fair. And then here is my start. So then I'm also doing Honey Fair. They do share a few of the same colors, so that besides the fact that they're both the fairs, so they're in the same bag. And this is where I'm at. This one, so I normally put one strand of floss in to start a new project. Well, I started with this light tan color, and that wasn't very much, and it wasn't a full strand. So I then put in a full strand of this darker honey color. That gave me a lot of the honeycomb structure. So I'm very happy with how that's coming out. It's actually pretty fun. Like once I started stitching this pattern, I thought it was actually kind of fun. So that's how far I've gotten so far on that one. And I actually have another project in here, but I haven't started it yet. I need to get another piece of fabric because I thought I would have enough out of that one piece, but all I have left is this, and it's not big enough for the next, because I already have kitted up the floss, and that's ready to go for this one, Harvest House by Tansy Patch Quilts. It was in here because I was planning on using the same fabric, but I'm not going to be able to use the same fabric, so I'm going to need to grab a new piece of fabric and to do this one. And it will get its own bag once I do that. But the floss I have, this is the floss to go with the Pansy House. So once I decide, actually I'll just take it out now. So once I decide on what fabric to go with it, I will probably start that one. That one might be the one I start today. It actually might be the one I start tomorrow. I don't know. It depends on if I decide to do it on Aida or if I decide to do it on linen. And then that's all that. Okay, so my next ones, because I have several, let's see. Next one I have is Stitching with the Housewives. So you may remember, if you've watched my videos before, that I have this piece of navy that I took out of a caterpillar cross stitch kit that I didn't want to stitch. And I did a bunch of the Stitching with the Housewives lemon motif ones on it, and I had one space left. So I finally decided what I was going to do with it, and this is what I'm going to do with it. So I'm stitching the What's in My Cup Hello Fall. I am doing the DMC conversion, but I kind of changed a few colors. One, because I didn't have the colors handy that they said. So a couple of them are maybe like one number off or, you know, whatever. But I also changed the color of the mug because I didn't really like that it's a white mug. I wanted a bit more color. So I added color. So what I have is this. So he's going to be in a teal colored mug. It's the same teal that I used for the teal in the truck. And then the foxes started. The fox is almost done, honestly. This one will be a pretty quick stitch. This is one strand, I believe, of the teal. I went as far as one strand would take me, and then I went up and started on the fox, and I think that's not quite one strand because I have some floss here. So once I pick this up again, this one should go pretty quickly. And then, of course, the back stitching for the Hello Fall. And I don't know if I'll do the back stitching or if I'll make it say Hello Fall. Maybe it'll say something else. I don't know. It's smaller than I thought it was going to be. I will say that. Basically, from the picture, it looks like it's going to be bigger than what this is. But it's fine. It works because I don't want it to be too big because I want it to fit on that piece. So that way when I go to finish these, I have options as to how I want to finish them. And I'm not really sure how I want to finish them yet. So we'll cross that bridge once I finish stitching this one. Okay. So that is that one. And my Grove reusable, these are supposed to be like reusable sandwich bags, basically. This is one of their bigger ones. But it works really well for this. It works really, really well for this. The big ones, anyway. The smaller ones, but the big ones, this size, work really well for project bags. Let's see. This one is so ink circles, Aspen Mandela. So I'm stitching this big one. I'm hoping to have enough left over of the piece of fabric to be able to do this little one as well, but I don't know because I did start it in the center of the fabric. So I'm hoping that I will be able to cut like a little corner out to do this. But I don't know because I'm doing it on 14 count because that's the size of the fabric that I had. But I think I'll have plenty. So this this is my new start. And I did, this was, I want to say this was about 3 hours of work that I put into it. It kind of looks like a little tornado in the center. So this right here is what I've gotten done. Because the next color is the brown that starts the roots. And this piece of fabric is like that. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to take like the corner up here, or one of the corners, and do that little motif once I get it done. I'm not going to worry about it until after I get it done, because if I can't fit it on this, it's not a big deal. But I should have enough in one of the corners to be able to fit it on the same fabric. And this is 14 count, and I've had it in my stash for a long time. It's called Gentle Rains, but I don't know where I got it from. I don't normally stitch on 14 count, so I've had it for a while. I know I ordered it from Etsy, but I don't know what shop it was or anything like that. So, but I thought that it looked really nice and very much resembled the color of the fabric in the pattern, where it kind of looks like sky. So there is that, and I'm just doing close to the called for colors. So when I say that, it's like within a number or two of the called for colors. So that way it's not hard to figure out which one's supposed to be where. Let's see. Then this one has a bunch of patterns in it. So this one is going to be the Festive Fobs. And I've started 2 sets of Festive Fobs. And they're all together in here because I have all of the flosses together on one ring. And there's the cover. Okay. So the first one I'll show you if I can get to it. There it goes. Nope. So the first one here is the Festive Fobs Christmas Edition. And I know that people have shown these before, so I am doing them on 25 count Lugana. And I am doing my method of doing one color completely at a time. I'll do one full strand of color, and then I'll move on to another color and add it to or create a new. So I'm doing most of the patterns on here I plan on doing. The only one I know for sure that I'm not going to do is the manger one. I'm not going to do that one, but I'm probably going to do all the other ones. So I'm doing 25 pounds 1/1. There's the first one. This one is almost done. It just has the little basket on the bottom that I have to add to it. But I haven't gotten to that color yet. And then this one. And this one is supposed to have a background color. And then it's going to have a green that goes around the outside, like a little postage stamp. This little guy, the little tree. This one is the little cardinal. This one is the beginning of one of the wreaths. Well, the wreath that says joy in the middle of it. This is the beginning of the little reindeer one. This one is the beginning of the bells. And that is it. Yeah, because there's there's only one that I have not started yet. So the only one that I'm planning on doing that I have not started yet is the Christmas tree right here, because I haven't gotten to any of those colors yet. But everything minus this one has been started. And that was I don't know, maybe 3 hours? Not a lot. Maybe 3 hours of stitching. And I have the one more piece to do the Christmas tree. All right, and then the other one that I started, the other festive fob that I started, stray strands here, is the Festive Fobs Beekeeping Edition. And I'm not entirely sure how many of these I'm going to do. I don't think I'm going to do this big bee, but that's the only one that I know for sure that I'm not planning on doing. So, this one here is just about done. He just has the outside border color left. And then this one will be done. It's so cute. It's so tiny. It's so tiny. He's so tiny. And I'm using the called for fancy flosses, and it's pretty much all Weeks Dye Works. I got a string. Okay. That one. This one's the Queen Bee one. This one. This one is just the little basket and the start of a bee. And then this one. I think this one is like the biggest one. That between that one and the big bee, but I'm not gonna do the big bee. So that's my start on that. That is probably about the same. I did actually work on this one again after my initial start. So I filled in the background on this one on a separate day. That one took me a couple hours to do the background on that. But I really like how it came out. Like the variegation in the floss is really pretty. So yeah, I don't know, maybe 3 hours and then an additional like couple hours to do the background on that other one. Let's see. I'm not sure. So I had initially planned to do the Festive Fobs one pattern a day for starts, and that would cover like 12 of my days for May. But I'm kind of getting burnt out on doing the really tiny all at once. I think I'm going to maybe do 1 or 2 more, but like spread them out so that way it's not like tiny. Yeah, I don't know. I do plan on still doing them all because I really like them and they're very cute and they're fun. But I don't think I'm going to do them back to back. Anyway, because of that, I decided to go ahead and start this one. I showed this, I think, last episode or the episode before that. This was a donation piece that was offered through Forbidden Fiber Co. It was a donation for victims of tornado damage, and you know, that kind of hits very close to home for me because of where I'm from. In northern Illinois, there's a lot of tornadoes that go through there. And I know a lot of people who have suffered from tornado damage. So when they offered this on their site, I grabbed it. So I got this kit. I was a little bit confused when I got it because the fabric that they sent me, that I just threw on the floor now, is white. Like they forgot to dye it. But, so I was like, well, I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I need to figure out what fabric I'm going to use because it's supposed to be the color of the fabric that is in the sample, and this is what it came. It's just white. The black you can see in there. That's just the serge that they put on the outside. So when it's folded, you can see it in there. But it's white. So I went through and I actually found a new piece of fabric that I got from them recently that I think is going to work. So this is what it looks like, and it came with its own floss. There's only 4 colors. It's a very small piece. It's like 5 by 4.5, something like that. And I'm doing it on 18 count. And I cut the piece in half that I'm doing it on. But this is what I'm doing. I started this one yesterday, and I had a chance to post it on my Instagram. So if you follow me on Instagram, you have not seen this yet. I don't know when I'm going to post it, but this is what I started yesterday, and this is an hour and a half of stitching while talking on my Zoom call. So, yeah. And in case you couldn't read it, it says, today's storm doesn't compare to tomorrow's sunshine. So I have the doesn't compare to, and then I started the tomorrows. So this is one that I would probably have finished very quickly once I pick it up again. I don't know when that's going to happen. But I got it started. And that's almost 1 strand of floss. I think where I started the T started the last strand from that piece of floss. Okay, that is all of my new starts since the last time. So that leads us up to day 18 of May. So that brings me 18 new starts so far for May. And today is the 19th, so I will still be starting another one today. I do have a couple kits from Caterpillar Cross Stitch that are already kitted, so I'm thinking about using those as a couple of my new starts. So I have like 2 or 3 of those. I'm still planning on doing this one. I just need to grab a different piece of fabric so that I have a big enough piece. Yeah, that's pretty much what I have planned so far. So I still have, 11 more days that I need to figure out what I'm doing. And I'm working on kitting up and organizing some of my floss, some of my extra flosses. I was missing a few colors, and so I went to the craft store and got like one of each of like from like 3,000 to like 3,700. Because I noticed I was missing several in that range, the 3,000, 33,000 ones. So I like just picked up one of each because I couldn't remember what I was missing, and of course I forgot to grab my list or take a picture of my list or put it in my phone. So I just grabbed one of each to make sure I had the right ones. And that was to help me finish getting up this one for the house. And I might do 2 of these. I don't know. If they're the same colors, if I can get by with using the same threads, I might start more than one of these. But yeah, that's my plans. The only haul that I've gotten is the next edition of the Floss Fix from that quarter shop. And the colors are really pretty together. I'm sure you guys have seen this on other people's. So we've got Bing Cherry, which I really like this color. I think I already have that one. Black Coffee, Blackbird, which is actually a little bit more brown than black. Blacksmith Blue, Blooming Crocus, and Blue Beadboard. So yeah, that's pretty much all I've got for you guys this time. I totally forgot to pull up my most recent Flosstube watches. So let me do that really quick here, and I will tell you who I've been watching recently. So most recently, I just watched Two Needles Pulling Thread. I just watched their episode. That one was, yeah, definitely the most recent one that I just watched. Then Made by Michelle McGraw. She just posted a video about like all of her Christmas ornament patterns. It's a very long video. But I did watch that recently. Just like 2 days ago, I think, is when I watched it. I watched it shortly after she posted it. Then I just watched the latest episode of the Sunshine Stitchers. I love watching them, and I've commented on their things several times. I love watching them. They crack me up all the time. If you have not watched them, I highly recommend watching them. And then, and then the other one that I watched recently is Helen D. And I'm sure that you guys have watched her stuff. I like the way she finishes stuff. Yeah, so that's what I've been watching recently. If you have any questions or comments to put down below, go for it. I will get back to you. And again, thank you guys for watching. If you have subscribed, thank you for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, why not? And then, yeah, have a great day, guys. See you next time, about 2 weeks.